vocal folds are housed in your larynx, so it acts as a vibrator, which is what helps you sing. There are a lot of actions going on in your larynx as you sing. The main housing of your larynx is the thyroid cartilage. You can locate this by taking your index finger and feeling for your Adam's apple. If you're having a tough time finding it, go ahead and swallow and you will feel it move up and back down. If we are looking at your vocal folds from a bird's eye view, they look like a V on the inside of the thyroid cartilage. The pointy part of the V is attached to the cartilage behind your Adam's apple, and the other end of the vocal folds are attached to what is called the arytenoid cartilage. The arytenoids sit on top of a ring called the cricoid cartilage. Because of this, the arytenoids can open and close the space between the vocal folds, and that space is called the glottis. When you are normally breathing and not speaking, your vocal folds are open, so the glottis is open and breath can pass through. When we sing or speak, the arytenoids slide together, bringing the vocal folds close and closing the glottis. When they are in this position, air comes up through the vocal folds and it causes them to vibrate, which produces sound. The vocal folds can come together in two different ways. When you are normally speaking or singing, your vocal folds come together along their entire length so that air causes them to vibrate. They can also close in a way where there is a tiny gap between them by the arytenoids, just like this. When there is a tiny gap at the end of your vocal folds like this, it causes a whispered sound. Try whispering to feel that sensation. Hey, how's it going? There are also muscles located on both sides of the thyroid and cricoid cartilage that help control pitch by tipping the front of the thyroid cartilage away from the cricoid cartilage. Remember, your vocal folds are attached to the arytenoid cartilage at the back, which opens and closes them. And this sits atop the cricoid cartilage. That's where the open end of the V is, and the pointy end of the V is attached to the thyroid cartilage, right up here. When the thyroid cartilage tilts, this will stretch or lengthen the vocal folds because they stay attached in the back. This can increase the speed at which they can vibrate and raise pitch. Your vocal folds themselves are also made up of muscle fibers that can help control their thickness as well as their length. Because of this, the vocal folds can resist stretch, which is what keeps them thick, and it causes the voice to produce a fuller sound, or what many refer to as chest voice. Here's an example of what that sounds like. The muscles inside of your vocal folds that help them to resist stretch are called the thyroarytenoid muscles, or the TA muscles. These are also sometimes called the false vocal cords because they don't actually play a role in producing sound themselves. They can just shorten the length of the vocal folds. Your vocal folds can also relax and stretch, and this is caused by what is called the cricothyroid muscle, or the CT muscle. This gives them the ability to sing higher with a lighter sound quality, which is also known as head voice. Here's an example of what that sounds like. Your vocal folds can vibrate better with gentle contraction as opposed to being loose and relaxed. You need some tension here to be able to create sound. This is one of those tensions that is necessary. Your vocal folds can also forcefully contract and close the larynx, which will not allow any air through, and this is an action that occurs when swallowing, so no water or food enters them. Try swallowing or holding your breath to feel them forcibly come together. While many things are happening in the larynx as you sing and speak, all of these things work together to help the larynx operate as a whole system.